Welcome back to the Gina's channel, where expectation of something good, no matter what, is always a must every day. Because, like I told you guys, the Bible promises, God promises every day He renews, He gives us new blessings. Uh, we are continuing the journey, and like I have told you before, the journey started because of, you know, unfortunately, illness. And through that journey, I had to make some hard decisions. And I left my children back in Miami. And I am still going through the process of the journey. Now, God, in His greatness, in His faithfulness, never leaves you nor forsakes you. And one day at work, there were different pamphlets that were left, and I happened to pick one of them. Actually, it's right here, and the title is "The Land Between: Finding God in Difficult Transitions." Now, the transition was difficult, and we have to find a way to see good in it, to find God in it. And because the Bible promises us in Joshua that do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with Gina. I put my name in it. I tell you, I always put my name in it wherever I go. That's Joshua 1 verse 9. And so therefore that was a relief. That was a moment. It's something I needed to hear. Because one aspect that is very difficult is because my children are still in Miami. And yes, they are adults, young adults, I have to add. But I'm still not there. And I still miss them greatly, dearly. So it's hard. That transition, along with everything else, is very hard. Now, that same booklet reads, "May our gracious God revive your spirit and restore your laughter." It is so funny because yesterday I was telling my dad, or was it this morning? I was telling my dad, "Daddy, remember how I used to laugh? I used to laugh a lot." And then I think 3 weeks ago, I met a friend. I believe I have told you guys that I haven't seen for over 40 years. So I was a kid. We were kids. And she tells me, "One thing I remember about you vividly is that you always used to laugh. You always have a laughter. You had a good and light spirit." Now here it is that I am, I guess, an adult, and then you have all these things to try to uh, manage. And where did my laughter go? And I said, I want my laughter back. Because, and he promises that God will revive my spirit and restore my laughter. And through my pain, because it's painful, it's sad, it's painful, through my pain, to keep the faith, to keep the faith, because God will never leave me nor forsake me. There is another Bible text in Romans that talks about the joy of, to find the joy. There's three things, three ingredients, basically 3 points that we have to remember. It's to have that hope, which I have hope, to find the joy, and to have peace. Now, I have been talking to you guys a lot about finding the peace, because without the peace, there is no movement. Because the peace will just, the non-peace will just keep you confused and fighting and looking for, to solve the problem without letting go and letting God. Okay, so the hope that is in Romans, finding hope. I'm hoping for a lot of stuff. God given um blessings, okay, that he promised in his word. I am wanting the joy of the Lord. Because the Bible tells you that the joy of the Lord gives you strength. And I can tell you, my friends, I need that strength. I need that strength to keep moving on. Now, like I just told you, that when I was a kid, I mean, people remember me because I'm a happy child. Yes. And I'm a happy adult. Yes. Now, the transition, the curveball, or the hump, or the roller coasters going into my life now, puts me in a state that, oh God, I'm feeling down. I'm this, I'm that, and I don't not see the joy. And I was listening to somebody, and it's true. There is a difference between happiness and joy. You see, and when I think about it, honestly, I don't know that I've ever read in the Bible about the happiness of God. It's always the joy of the Lord. And that lets me, I ask, what is the difference? And this is what my girlfriend and we were talking about it last night, and this is what we have determined. The happiness is something outside of you that needs to happen to make you happy or to make you unhappy, versus the joy is a state of well-being. No matter what, you know that the Lord is going to provide. You know that the Lord is on your back, it has your back. You know that the Lord is going to come through for you. So you always have that joy, and that joy gives you strength. I really stopped and meditated. And so now I said, you know what, God, I don't know that really the priority now is for me to find your joy. I need to find your joy that my children are not here, but I'm okay. That my husband is still going through his process of illness, but I'm okay. Because you promised me in Joshua that you are with me. Joshua in the Bible, that you are with me. So I praise your name for that. Thank you for your joy. Because for me to be happy, I depend on circumstances. I depend on people. But when I have your joy, no matter what happens, I'm joyful. I have a joyful spirit, and that gives me, your joy gives me strength. So I praise your name for that. And the last one is peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. Remember, I talked to you guys about finding the peace of God, because the thing about it is that no matter how much I try, me personally or anybody, but until you find that stillness, remember I talked about stillness, until you find that stillness, there is always gonna be turbulences. Now, that doesn't mean that there's no turbulences, even if you find that stillness, but it's not going to affect you that bad, because you are still and you are dependent on God. And the Bible text in Romans says, so that you can find abundance. I'm not quoting the text, but from what I am understanding, paraphrasing, you can find abundance in his blessing. You can find abundance in what he promised. So we need to find stillness. We need to be joyful, God's joy that gives us strength, and we need to have faith. hope. Hope, joy, and peace will give us abundantly above anything that we could think or ask for. So may God be with you. May the blessing of God will be with you. May you have hope. May you have God's joy and God's peace. And you will see life will be much easier to deal with. Thank you and see you next time.